Hello everyone, how are you doing? Right now I'm getting ready to try a review here with comparing 1080p video versus 4K video. So the devices that I have that we're going to be comparing tonight is going to be a Sony HW30ES, which is a 1080p projector from Sony, of course. And that's going to be being compared against an Epson UB 5040 UB projector, 4K projector. So I'm going to go ahead and play one of the blue discs. I'm going to do a couple of scenarios. I'm going to do working on the Oppo BDP 103D. We're going to play a 1080p movie. Then we'll go over to the UDP 203 Oppo 4K player. We'll play a 4K movie out of that, where we'll do a comparison again between both projectors. We'll also do a live feed. It'll be really one of the with my HDMI wireless transmitter for cable TV, so you can see the differences between the two technologies. So hope you enjoy. I'm gonna pause again just for saving you all time between the setups, and the next time you hear from me, I'll come back with the live material. Thank you. Okay, so welcome back. So here we have the Captain America Winter Soldier 1080p movie inside the Oppo BDP 103 Blu-ray player. Right now what you're seeing on the screen, this is on the Sony HW30ES projector. So little background about both projectors. Neither one of them are professionally calibrated, just a first level Disney Wow Disc calibration done on the Sony versus no calibration done or adjustments done to the Epson. So you may see a little bit of some redness in the skin tones, but with that projector, however, I mean, it's well, your decision. You know, it's your decision there. Let's see if you can even see it on the screen here. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the movie, and we're gonna be watching on the 30ES, and then I will tell you we're gonna continue to let it play live, and you can see some of the changes, and we'll alternate between them both. So here we go. So here we are with the 103. Very good detail with it. Of course, 1080p is a great high def codec there, video codec. So what we're going to do is once we get to the close-up scenes between Captain America and Black Widow, we'll get to see some of the skin tones and some of the pops of color, especially with her hair. I couldn't believe some of the changes I saw there, but maybe you can see for yourself. So here we see the 30ES, and now we go to the 5040 UB with its 4K enhancement. If you look at her hair, some of the details, the depth in her face with the shadow detail, the blacks look deeper. It's pretty big difference. I'm going to switch again here. We're back to the Sony 30ES. As you can see, black levels are down. Now, as far as life on each bulb, this bulb was just replaced not too long ago. I say I may have about 30 hours on it. In fact, if we check it out now, we are looking at, here we go, 394 hours on the bulb. So this is still a relatively new bulb compared to everything. I'm going to go back. We're back to the Sony 30ES. We're on the 5040 UB. I will say that with the 5040 UB, it doesn't handle motion as well as the Sony does. And that's of course with the 1080p. Even with the 4K, I have some issues there, but I mean, you are still looking at a great picture. Switching back here, once we get here we go, a scene of Robert Redford. You can see where again, just the tint, the hue, the color saturation really, it changes between these two projectors. Of course, the 30ES is an older one, and it's still hanging strong. But the 5040, this 4K technology really does take 1080p to another level, especially when it's being upscaled like this. Again, one more time. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to put some 4K material. Okay, right now we have the 4K Batman vs. Superman disc in. Right now you are looking at the UDP-2D203 pushing the feed over to the HW30ES with the 4K disc. What the 4K player is doing is downsampling it to 1080p. For those of you that don't know, you can do that in order to be able to take advantage of the Atmos audio codecs. Just in case you don't have 4K yet, you can't afford it, or just don't see the importance of it, but you love having the outstanding audio right with it. So with this here, we're looking at again the Sony ES. It's upscaling. It's still a very nice picture on here. I mean, it's still very detailed. However, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to go a little bit earlier in the scene here. So again, this is the Sony 30ES. If I switch while they're talking, as you can see here again, a bit bright on the reds here, especially with the facial complexions, but I mean, at the same time, that could be the light coming from the fire, right, from the special effects. I mean, just you can see how much more dynamic range is in this picture. Now, the setting I have on Epson, it is stripping the metadata, and it is has a target luminance setting of 50 nits. Of 75 nits. I didn't max it out to the 50. It's actually a 75 nits. Reason being is that HDR on the Epson 5040 UB definitely is a lot darker. I also picked up a JVC X570R 4K projector, so I'll be testing that as well to see how the 4K technology, the eShift technology, works with that. So go ahead. We're going to go back. So you can see pretty much the differences here. We see the sword. We're back to the Epson 5040. Switching back to the 30ES. 5040. 30ES. 5040. I mean, the colors just look phenomenal on the 5040. I mean, with every projector, again, if you're looking at, the Epson 5040 UB, now right now we're on the 30ES. Back to the 5040. If you're looking for a 4K player, this is a great 4K player, no doubt. I think if you're going to put this in your living room where you have a lot of ambient light, perfect projector for it. Everyone is correct with that. With that assessment of this review of this projector, is that it does great in ambient light. We'll see how the JVC performs in that later on. Back to the Sony 30ES now. Going back to the 5040. Look at that. Very nice. Thank you. I'm going to show you some cable content. Okay, so right now what we're doing is we're streaming live TV through a My Wireless TV HDMI transmitter. It does push full 1080p signal with Dolby Digital 5.1. I believe that's the audio codec that it pushes. Anyway, past that though, just talking video right now. We have the Sony 30ES right now. That's right now showing on the TV. We have it where Jimmy Kimmel Live is showing, right? Jimmy Kimmel Show is on right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to some live sports programming. Hopefully it hasn't gone to commercial now because I chose to do this right at 11 p.m. Central Time. So that's awesome. With that being said, though, as you see here, you see again, great detail with the 30ES. The colors are there. Everything looks great. Right now we're going to switch to the 5040 now. And as you see here, again, some of the colors went to people's complexions, went a little bit went into with a red tint to them. But I mean, as you see here, the colors are bright. I did turn up the super resolution a little bit for the 5040 on this, just to see what it can do with the cable material, especially something that's coming over a wireless HDMI transmitter, then to the pre-pro and to the projector. So I mean, it looks great. And we're going to switch right now. And as you see here, again, we just get the blacks are not as strong on here, dynamic range. we lose a bit of contrast and dynamic range here with the feed that's being pushed out. So here we're going to switch. Here's your 5040 UB. Seeing great detail on that mummy there. We're going to switch back to the Sony. I'm going to pause it really quick so we can see when we get a little close up onto one of the characters. And again, I'm doing this live, everyone, so forgive me if it takes a little bit longer here. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the sports channel here. So again, we're on the 30ES right now. That's what we're looking at. I will say, the Epson is not great with live sports programming, at least not with football. Some of the feeds that I've seen have been horrendous. But, well, let me say horrendous to my standards because I love football. So I want to see all the details. I want to feel like I am right there. So, but I can't even say that the 30ES has been great with sports either. But I can see why Sony has a reputation of having the better projectors. So here we're going to switch over to the 5040 right now. The greens in the field are deeper. You can just see all the colors are brighter. I can't say that the detail, the details in the image are better. I cannot say that. I can say that the colors are definitely brighter, and there's definitely a better contrast on this material than the 30ES. And I love this player. Let me say that to everyone. I do love this player. Could you tell that I went back to the 30ES? Again, wondering if you all can see this. I'm recording with my camera phone, which is a Note 4 Edge. And of course, you're looking at it through your computer screen on YouTube. So I hope you can see a difference as much as what I'm seeing. If you think I switched, I did. Okay, well, I gave you I flipped through a couple of times on the material. We're back on the 30ES, just a heads up. So just wanted to show you all this. Definitely things like this would help me out if, you know, if we have the right tools and materials there. So I hope this helped everyone out if you're on the fence going 4K. Appreciate your time and have a good one.